the best thing that has happened. I mean, there's a lot of bittersweet, this year. The death of George Floyd, the COVID-19, a lot of white supremacy things going on. But you know what? This is the best thing that has happened, because now we're having to confront this. It should have been confronted decades ago.
You're saying it's good that this stuff is happening now?
Yes. Yeah. Because people are now addressing it, rather than shoving it under the carpet and locking it in the closet.
Right.
Because in the past, it was always taboo to talk about these kinds of things. People didn't want to talk about racism and supremacy and all that kind of stuff. And now we're having to confront it because it's in our face. And I'm going to tell you what's happening that the media knows, but they don't talk about. This country was built on a two-tier society: white supremacy and slavery. And over the years, we progressed like this. Maybe like this, but never like this. Not on an equal basis. All right? When I was a child, the black population in this country was 12%. Native Americans were only 1%. Hispanic people, Latino people, around 2%. Asians, around 4%. White people, like 84, 86%. So the racist people, their biggest nemesis were black people at 12%. That's way too much. They didn't care about 1% Native American. The attitude was, just take them, put them on a reservation, forget about them. They didn't care about 2% Hispanic or Latino. But 12%, no, we can't have that. All right? So today, black people remain at 12%. We're like 12.9% or something now. We really haven't grown. So we're almost at 13%. Hispanic people have grown to like 17 point something percent. So, and Asians, I believe, have grown to like 6%. If you take just black people at 12% in this country, and 17% Latino Hispanic, that right there is 29% non-white. This is happening, okay? And if you want to prove it to yourself, Google the Census, U.S. Census Bureau. The census is taken every 10 years, all right? Look, watch the census every 10 years from 1960. Black people have remained at 12%. Other things, like Hispanic, Latino, have grown, and the white population is coming down. It is well predicted that in the year 2042, that's going to be a shift. For the first time in the history of the United States, it will be 50-50. 50% white, 50% non-white. That includes black, Latino, Hispanic, Asian, whatever, Native American, etc. All right? Between 2045 and 2050, it's going to shift. Whites will become the minority in this country. Now,
really?
Yep. And there are plenty of white people in this country, who embrace that. They say, hey, I'm cool with that. Evolution is what happens. No big deal. There's another percentage that are not happy with that. Those are your white supremacists, all right, which includes the KKK, the neo-Nazis, the alt-right, whatever else, and individuals. When you have sat on the throne of power for 401 years, you don't want to get off. I have been here for 401 years as a descendant of slaves. The first slaves came here in 1619. That's 401 years ago. And I'm a descendant of slaves. Okay? And when you've held that kind of power for that long over somebody like me, you don't want to give it up. Look at our current presidency. He has power. He doesn't want to give it up.
Right.
Right? When you have power, you don't want to give it up. So they're seeing their throne legs being whittled down, and now their butts are coming down to the level of the inferior people. They don't want that. I said I'm a musician. Just like, if I had a hit record, number one on the charts, I don't want to get off of number one. I don't want to fall down to number 10, number 99. Now I'm off the top 100.
Yeah.
You want to stay at the top. right? Okay, so this is why you're seeing all these groups popping up, trying to recruit. Come join us. We're going to take our country back. We're going to make America great again. We're going to build that wall, send those people back to wherever they came from, and so forth and so on. All right. That's because. Do you know what white flight is?
White flight?
Yeah.
No, I've never heard of it.
You really?
Never.
How old are you?
I'm 33.
Okay, that's why. Okay. Okay. White flight was very big back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, but now there is no more white flight. White flight. You ever heard of white flight?
No.
Okay.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
Oh, that definitely explains it. Okay. You have a neighborhood that's all white, and eventually people who were not white began moving into the neighborhood.
Okay.
And then the white people, they move out, and they go to somewhere else where it's all white.
Okay.
And then gradually that becomes integrated, and they fly again. They keep flying to they want an all white neighborhood.
Right.
That's called white flight.
Okay.
Okay. There is no more white flight because they can't fly anywhere
There's
anymore.
nowhere to go now.
Nowhere to go now. Exactly. Exactly. Everywhere you go, there's somebody who does not look like you.
Right. Right.
Okay. So white flight is over.
Unless you want to leave the planet.
Precisely.
Well,
then you got green.
There's no white people anyway on them. Yeah, you think green people.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is going to make that happen.
Oh, the funniest thing I ever saw, went to this Klan rally, public place. It was in front of the governor's mansion in Maryland. All these white, white supremacists in Klan robes and stuff. They kept yelling, "White power, white power!" And these 3 or 4 college kids showed up with their bodies painted green. And every time the Klan would yell, "White power, power," they go, "Green power, green power." I got a picture of them in my book.
That is hilarious.
Anyway, so this is why all these groups are trying to recruit, because the landscape is changing.
Right.
Okay, it used to be mostly white landscape. Now you're seeing people from all over. You call Miami Little Havana.
Right.
And little Chinatown and little Hispanic town and so forth and so on. Or little Ethiopia or whatever, different places, right? Those names didn't exist 20, 30 years ago, right? So some people are freaking out about that. So they go and join these groups that promise to take the country back. All right? And when that doesn't happen, they get frustrated. They say, you know what? If the Klan can't do it, or the Nazis can't do it, I'll do it myself. And they go out on their own and walk into a black church, boom, 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 or into a synagogue, boom, 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 or the Walmart in El Paso, boom, 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 boom. Right? These are lone wolves. Now, we have intelligence agencies, FBI, that kind of thing, right? Who have operatives that can blend in. They can go and join these groups. They have the look. And they talk the talk, and they go in undercover, and they become one of those people, and they gather intelligence and report it back, and we foil those plots. Right. Like we had intelligence operatives in this group that was going to kidnap the governor. Right, that's how they got busted. But you cannot infiltrate a lone wolf. It's only one person. You follow what I'm saying?
Yep.
You can infiltrate a group. You can't infiltrate a lone wolf.
Mm-hmm.
As we get closer and closer to 2042, unfortunately, we're going to see more and more lone wolves because they feel their country is being taken over, and they feel it's their patriotic duty. This is a white homeland. This country was built by white men, and the Constitution was signed by white men. They forget the fact that it was built off the backs of slaves. It's all white, in their minds. That's their. So they're going to take it upon themselves to defend this country. That's what they're doing. So, in fact, you saw a lone wolf a couple weeks ago. That 17-year-old boy who came from Illinois into Wisconsin.
Right.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Right.
He shot 3 people, killed 2 of them, blew off the 3rd guy's arm, and then went home.
Yeah.
With his gun. That's a lone wolf. Okay? You're going to see more and more of those people as we get closer and closer to 2042. They are becoming unhinged. Okay, so you said you're 33.
Yeah.
So do you remember 1999 pretty well?
No.
No?
Not really. I wasn't paying attention to anything except for surfing and skating around town and just being an idiot.
Well, in 1999, people were really having high anxiety because the year 2000 was coming.
Oh, yes. I remember that.
It was called Y2K.
Yep. They thought the world was going to end.
The world was going to end. My VCR won't work anymore.
Wasn't it something to do with the Mayan calendar ended?
Yeah,
or something?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
People were like freaking out, man. They're taking all their money out of banks and hiding it in their mattress because they figured their banking system was going to shut down. The calendar was going to go crazy.
Yeah.
Electronics weren't going to work anymore. The coffee maker wasn't going to work because you had to program it differently. So they were on high angst. What the year 2000 Y2K was to all of us or whatever, 2042 is the white supremacist Y2K.
Really?
Yeah. And 2042 is only 22 years from now.
So do you think the farther we go, like the closer we get to 2042, the
more crap we're going to see?
Radicalized people are going to get on that side, and the more shit like that we're going to see?
Yep. Unless we start addressing it now. We have been reactive for so long. We need to be proactive. We need to be more proactive. This country is changing, and it's going to continue to change. You can't stop evolution, all right? But you can teach people how to deal with it, how to get over their anxiety, how to accept it. It's going to be okay, So what if you open your front door and this neighbor looks different and that neighbor looks different and that one looks different? No big deal.
Earlier, you mentioned that you think it's somewhat a good thing what's been happening around in this country in the last year.
Mm-hmm. Let me explain that to you.
I also want to finish this thought.
Mm-hmm.
What I think you're trying to say is, by the fact that these things are happening and they're being exposed, they're coming out from under the rug.
Mm-hmm.
We're realizing that they do exist. We're realizing that there are weeds in the garden that have to be pulled.
We've always realized it, but we've never wanted to deal with it. We, not black people, white people, they don't want to address it.
Do you think that Donald Trump becoming president is also somewhat a good thing in that respect, that he has kind of sparked kind of an uprising? Because like
Donald Trump,
would you say that all KKK members would be Trump supporters?
Yes, they are.
Right.
Yeah.
So
what I say is, not every Trump supporter is a racist. I have a lot of friends who are Trump supporters, who are not racist at all.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay, so not all Trump supporters are racists, but every racist is a Trump supporter.
Right.
So there's a difference. And here's the thing. I would say that Donald Trump is the worst president we've ever had, but he is the best thing that's happened to this country. That's the bittersweet part of it.
It's a strong statement.
As a result of Donald Trump, we now have the Me Too movement, which is good for women. We didn't have the Me Too movement before him, and he sort of activated all that with all his misogyny and all that. We have a lot more conversations about race that we were not having before, that we should have had a long time ago. Donald Trump did not invent racism by any means. No, neither did Obama or George Bush or Bill Clinton or any of those people. It's been around for a long time. But we as a nation have failed to address it properly. And now we're having to, because we failed. And now we're having to address it violently even, like with Charlottesville. Or now you're having all these groups with these armed militias and all this kind of stuff, getting ready to confront each other in the streets. Right. They're all concerned about that 2042, and this is why I say we have to be proactive and not reactive.
Yeah.